I'm going to talk about assembly creation and editing. So let's create a new assembly. We'll start with doing it from the parts and materials screen. So I'll click the right arrow below the right grid of the assembly grid. Now we got a blank assembly. I'll give it a code. Give it a description. Okay, now I'm still in edit mode, so I'll click on that assembly. Now this is the assembly grid. You can move that around. So if you want to add an item from the parts list, you just click on the right arrow. When you're in assembly edit mode, it just appears in the assembly. Yeah, okay, now I've got a couple of part items. Let's go to the labor grid and edit the same assembly name we're working with. Click on the labor item. Okay, now we've got a few items, but we need to put in quantities. So let's edit in quantities. On each assembly item. And if there's a length, if it's like a per foot item, you need to put a length in, or per meter, whatever it happens to be. Okay. Now we've got, let's click done, so we're done editing. If you can double check that, just click it again. And there is that assembly. That's all there is to creating and editing assembly. Once you have an assembly, of course, when you're not in edit mode, you touch the right arrow of the assembly item, and let's say we're in a, you just click on the right arrow, and it doesn't matter if you do it from the labor or the parts and materials screen. Now you get this little dialog. The multiplier, the quantity for assembly, is multiplied by each quantity in every item in the assembly. So if I put in 2, every quantity item is multiplied by 2 and before it's inserted in the assembly. So that actually is more than it might appear to be, because you can use formulas. So if you can divide or multiply. In other words, if you put a fractional item in the assembly item, then basically you're dividing. Otherwise, you're multiplying. So it's a way to do formulas. Example I like to use is, let's say you're estimating basement remodeling or basement finishing, and you would like to simply estimate by the linear feet of the basement that you're doing. If you're hanging 4x8 sheets vertically, they're 4 feet wide, so you put in an assembly, you put a sheetrock item with a quantity of 0.25, and then when you add the assembly, you put in the number of linear feet in this box here. So if I put in 4, then I click done, it multiplies 4, in this case it would be 4 linear feet times 0.25 in the assembly, and you get 1 sheet. So that's the way to calculate your materials as you add assemblies. So assemblies are a powerful tool, and then you get this dialog saying you did it. And you can also add an assembly. Normally when you add it, every item in the assembly is added as an individual item into the estimate. But if you click add as a single item, and then add it, and click done. It goes in as one item with the total cost lumped into it. So that kind of streamlines your estimate report, but that actually the program will keep track of the individual material and labor costs. Even though it's shown as only one item, the program keeps track of the individual material and labor costs within the assembly. So that's good to be aware of. That's pretty much all there is to assemblies.